Hello dear students, welcome back again. So we are in the chapter 2, that is periodic classification of elements, and this is the second part of revision of chapter 2. In the first revision video, we have revised the content till the structure of periodic table. Okay, so yes, now let's start with the next topics. So here, next we are going to learn about modern periodic table and electronic configuration of elements. Okay, so here we can see that within a period, the neighboring elements differed slightly in their properties, while the distant elements differ widely in their properties. Which means what? Let's take an example of lithium and beryllium. So these two elements, they are at a very small distance from each other. They are the neighboring elements, so they show similarity. But if we take an example of Li and this oxygen or else nitrogen, then we will see that these two elements are at the very large distance from each other. Yes, so they show some changes in their properties. Okay, then the elements in the same group show similarity and gradation in their properties. Similarity which means what? Yes, the elements in the same group show some similar properties and some changes in their properties So as we go from top to the bottom, we will show this. We get to know about this similarity and gradation in their properties. So these characteristics of groups and periods in the modern periodic table are because of what? They are because of electronic configuration of element. Okay, so here we can say that the characteristics of groups and periods. What are the characteristics of groups and periods? Let's start. The characteristics of groups and periods in the periodic table are understood by comparison of the properties of elements. When we compare the different properties of elements, when we compare the elements which having different properties, then we will get to know about the characteristics of groups and periods. Okay. So, the various properties of all the elements in a group show similarity and gradation, as I have said earlier. However, the properties of elements changes slowly while going from one end to the other, that is from left side to the other side. Yes, I have said this in a particular period. Okay. Yes. Then what is groups and electronic configuration? Let's see. The number of valence electron in the elements of group 1, here is the group 1, that is, they are the family of what? Alkali metals, is the same. Here you can see the valence electron, which means the outermost electron is 1, that means it is same. Okay, then the elements, that is beryllium, which belongs to group 2, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, they are belongs to what? They are belongs to group 2. They are what? They are which family? They are called as alkaline earth metal. Okay, so there are two electrons in their outermost shell. Okay, so they having the two valence electron in their outermost shell. Okay, yes. Similarly, there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell of the elements such as fluorine, chlorine, and they belong to group 17. They are the group 17 elements. Yes, so while going from top to bottom within any group, one electronic shell gets added at a time. Yes, you can see over here, here is the one shell, that is K shell. Here there are two shells that are called as K and L shell. Here you can see there are 3 shells. Here you can see there are 4 shells. So according to the atomic number, what happens? The shells gets added. Okay. So from this we can say that the electronic configuration of the outermost shell is characteristics of a particular group. Yes. So however, as we go down in the group, the number of shell goes on increasing. Yes, very true. You can see this in each and every group that the number of shells goes on increasing. Okay. Then periods and electronic configuration. Here we can see that on going through the periods in the modern periodic table, number of valence electron is different. So the look at the period, that is second period, here the valence electron is 1. Here you can see the valence electron is 2. Here you can see the valence electron is 3, and so on. So there are changes, there are differences you can see in the valence electron while going from left to right in a period. Okay, so and the number of shell is same. Yes, you can see there is 2 shells, here also 2 shells, here also 2 shells, and so on. So the number of shells are same. Also, while going from left to right within the period, the atomic number increases by 1 at a time. Yes, here the atomic number of lithium is what? 3. The atomic number of beryllium is what? 4. The atomic number of boron is what? 5, and so on. So atomic number increases by 1 at a time, and the number of valence electron also increases by 1. Yes, here you can see the 1 valence electron, here the 2, 3, and so on. So atomic number increases by 1, and the valence electrons also increases by 1. Okay, the elements in the second period, second period, Li, Be, Bc, and so on, they have electrons in 2 shells. Yes, that is K and L shell. Okay, then the elements in the third period, they have electrons in which shell? How many shell? 3 shells. Okay, yes. So what is the capacity of each and every shell? You all know that there are 4 shells. Okay, K, L, M, and N. If we take an example of potassium, so we are going to add only 2 elements, only 2 electrons in the first shell, that is K shell, because as per the electron holding capacity of shells, 2 elements are present in the first period and the 8 element in the second period. Okay, we can add 2 electrons in the first shell, then 8 electrons in the second shell, and in the third shell, here it is written that we can add 18 electrons, but according to law of octave, maximum we can add only 8 electrons. So we have added over here, that is 8 electron, and 1 electron which is remaining, we have added that electron in the outermost shell. Okay, so the third period also contains only 8 electrons due to the law of electron octet. Then the chemical reactivity of an element is determined by the number of valence electron in it. Yes, and the number of the valence shell. So this is about electronic configuration. First, in the first shell we can add 2 electrons. In the second, the next shell we can add 8 electrons. After that also 8 electrons, and so on. Okay. Periodic traits in the modern periodic table. What is that? So you all know that when the properties of elements in a period or a group of the modern periodic table are compared, then what it observed? The certain regularity is observed in their variation. Some kind of regularity is observed in their variation. It is called as what? The periodic traits in the modern periodic table. Okay. And the first we have learnt about valency, which is very easy. What is valency? The valency of an element is determined by the number of electrons which are present in the outermost shell of its atom, and that is called as what? Valence electron. So here you can see potassium having electronic configuration 2, 8, 8 and 1. Outermost shell consists of how many electrons? 1 electrons. So its valency is what? Its valency is 1. Okay, this topic we have learnt in very detailed manner in our tutorial video, regular video. So if you haven't watched the videos, please go and watch all the videos, then only you will understand this revision videos. Okay, so please go there and watch all the tutorial videos which are very important and which are explained with very detailed manner. Okay, so go and please watch that video. So then the next is atomic size. What is atomic size? The size, volume, it is a fundamental property of matter. Yes, the size of an atom is indicated by its radius. An atomic radius is the distance between the nucleus of the atom and its outermost shell, from the nucleus to the outermost shell. Okay, the atomic radius is expressed in the unit picometer, which is what? Which is smaller than the nanometer. So 1 picometer is equal to how much? 10 raised to minus 12 meter. Okay. Atomic radius goes on decreasing while going from left to right within a period. Okay, and atomic size also decreases. When we go from left to right in a period, what happened? You can see that the atomic radius goes on decreasing and the atomic size also goes on decreasing. Atomic radius increases while going down in a group, but if we go from top to bottom, that is from top to the bottom, which means downwards direction in a group, then what happened? Atomic size increases and atomic radius also increases. Okay. It is seen that the zigzag line which separates metal from the non-metal in the periodic table, yes, this is the zigzag line. Here are the metal, here are the non-metals. So it separates both the metals and non-metals. Elements appear to have arranged in such a way that metals are on the left side of this line and non-metals are on the right side, and the metalloids are along the border of this line. Yes. Yes, so how did this happen? Let's see. Let us compare the characteristic chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So here we can see that it is seen from the chemical formula of the simple ionic compound that the cation, I have told you yesterday that cation, which means what? Positive charge, and cation in them is formed from what? Metal. Okay, while the anion, which means negative charge, from a non-metal. Okay, we have taken an example in our tutorial video. We have taken an example of Na and Cl. Okay, so Na, it loses electron and form what? Positive charge, and Cl, which accept electron and form negative charge, that is called as anion. Okay, so from this it is understood that metal, which means Na is a metal. Yes, so metal have tendency to form a cation by losing its valence electron. Yes, and this property is called as what? Electropositivity of an element. Remember, electropositivity, which means losing electron, forming cation. Yes. So on the other hand, what happened? The atoms of a non-metal. Okay, we have taken an example of Na and Cl. Cl is a non-metal. Okay, it has tendency to form an anion by accepting electron from outside into its valence shell. Okay, so it accepts electron from the valence shell. Okay. How is this ability to lose or accept electrons in the valence shell determined? Let's see. All the elements in any atom are held by the attractive force which are exerted to them by positively charged nucleus. Okay, so the force which is exerted on them is on the positively charged nucleus. Okay, then electrons in the inner shells lies between the valence shell and the nucleus. Electrons which are there in the inner shell, they are lies between what? Valence shell, which means outermost shell, and the nucleus. Okay, so because of their this presence, the effective nuclear charge exerting an attractive force on the valence electron, which is somewhat less than the actual nuclear charge. Okay, yes, so here we can see that thus what happens, the number of valence electrons in metals is small. From group 1 to 3 we can see that the valence electrons is 1 to 3. Okay, also the effective nuclear charge exerting attractive force on the valence electron is also small. As a combined effect of these two factors, metals have what tendency to lose the valence electron and to form a cation having stable electronic configuration. This tendency of element is called as positivity. Electropositivity is the metallic character of that element. So I have told you yesterday that electropositivity, which means losing of electron, forming cation, and it is a metallic character of element. Okay, so remember these 3-4 keywords. Then the metallic character of an atom is its tendency to lose electron? Yes. Therefore, the metallic character of elements increases while going down in a group. While going down, it is increases. While going from left to right in a period, the outermost shell remains the same. Yes, left to right in a period, the outermost shell remains the same. However, the positive charge on the nucleus goes on increasing. Yes, while the atomic radius goes on decreasing. Yes, and that's why what happened? Effective nuclear charge also increases. As a result of this, the tendency of atom to lose valence electron decreases within the period from left to right. Okay, there are two factors which are responsible for increasing effective nuclear charge. What are they? The first is the increasing nuclear charge and decreasing atomic radius as we go from left to right within a period. So within a period what happened? The nuclear charge goes on increasing and atomic radius goes on decreasing. Okay, decreasing atomic radius, here you can see. Therefore, the valence electrons are held with greater and greater attractive force, and this is called as electronegativity of an atom. So, due to increasing electronegativity from left to right within the period, the ability of an atom to become anion by accepting outside electron goes on increasing. And here you can see what is electronegativity, the tendency of an element to form anion, or electronegativity is non-metallic character of element. So in electronegativity you have to remember for what? Forming anion, accepting electrons, okay, and it is a non-metallic character of element. Forming anion, which means what? Negative charge. Okay, yes. So while going downwards in any group, what happens? Electropositivity of an element goes on increasing while their electronegativity goes on decreasing. While going from left to right in any period, the electronegativity of element goes on increasing, okay, while their electropositivity goes on decreasing. And you all know that larger the electropositivity or electronegativity of element, higher is what? Higher is reactivity. The tendency to react with each other is very high. Okay, then we have learnt about gradation in halogen family. Okay, so there is some similarity which we can see in group 17 elements they are called as halogens. Okay, so what is that? The group 17 contains a member of halogen family and all of them have a general formula, that is X2. How? A gradation is observed in their physical state. Physical state, which means what? Liquid state, solid state, gaseous state. Yes. So fluorine, which means F2, and chlorine, they are gases. Then bromine, bromine is a water. Okay, we can call it as bromine is a liquid, while iodine, I2, is a solid. Okay, so this is some kind of variation which we can observe in the group 17 elements. Okay, so this is all about the revision of the chapter 2, periodic classification of elements. Yes, go through the video, two videos. These two videos are very important. Go through the video, do your assignment regularly, students, and to watch all the tutorial video. Don't escape in half video. Each and every video you have to watch full video. Okay, study hard. Thank you.